Yeah, so I've got a little bit of Spring Festival kind of dried. I think they're Australian actually. I think they're. Can you see that? Yeah, they're tiny little. A couple of them fell down. They're little nuts. I think they might be from some kind of gum or some kind of eucalypt. I'm not sure. But anyway, in this video, I want to talk about an issue that does pop up in China and in a lot of East Asia. I mean, it's common all over the world, and that is the subject of how to deal with nationalistic students. In Korea, I had the students often coming up to me in the high schools and whatever, trying to tell me about Hakjin, which is the strategy that the king, I forget the name of the king. I think it was who was it? I should remember, but or I should have prepared and wrote it down. But he was the king who created this naval strategy of basically encircling the enemy, which seems kind of obvious, but yeah, but it's translates in English as crane wing tactics. I think I do remember what it was called, Hakjin. And look, if I ever said to the students, you know what, that's just surrounding your enemy, they would be unimpressed with that. It's like a lot of these issues. I mean, if you just sort of go along with it a bit, I think that goes a long way. And nationalism generally, I think, and scientifically, I think, studies have shown, peaks around the age of 18, 19, so those years. And those are coincidentally the years when the military is most enthusiastic about getting you to join. I mean, it's not just about the strength of your body and the energy that you have in terms of your physicality, but it's also like your mentality, like how amenable are you to doing things that you probably wouldn't do when you're older. Like if somebody said to me, Joram, we want you to kill somebody for Australia, I'd be like, what? You know, what are you talking about? What are you? But if you're 18, you're like, yep, like, who is it? Yeah, so I think it is easy to go along with, and just to make a little bit of a because at the end of the day, you're in the country that you're in to teach English. You're not in the country that you're in as an ambassador or as a diplomat. Now in China, it's very common for the students to give presentations about revolutionary history, and they want me to understand some of these important revolutionary events. Now, what I do, I just sort of, like, I'm not necessarily somebody who is like an expert about the communist revolution or the Civil War or anything like that. But what I generally say is, yeah, man, that's interesting. It's like, whoa, imagine that. That's cool. I would never kind of take any other view. And you do get teachers that kind of have a view of China that they developed before they came to China, and then when they're in China, they're very interested in sharing that view, in teaching the students about their own country. I mean, I think that's a very foolish approach, because the students, they're told by their fathers, they're told by their grandfathers, their grandmothers, their mothers, all of these ideas about their country. Their teachers in school teach them about their country, the internet, the television. So they have all of these assumptions. Now, you coming into it as one person saying, did it really happen like that? Or was that a good thing? Or whatever. I mean, it's not going to necessarily cause them to have some pause. I mean, they're just going to sort of think, what? Like this teacher, he doesn't get it. I mean, that's how it's going to be. And another thing that I always remember is, because I can't read Chinese, Like, I can read some simple Chinese, but I can't read a book in Chinese because I can't speak Chinese very, very well, because I am not from China. What I think China is and what I think its history is probably what it isn't. Okay, that's probably what it isn't. What I think it is probably what it is not. So I just sort of take the view that when you're dealing with nationalistic students, just go along with it. And the other thing I would say is, when you're 18, and this is related to what I was saying before, when you're 18 or 19 or 20 years old, it's normal to be very, very proud of your country. And I think when I was a student, I'm not sure about this, but I would think that one of my classmates, I don't think it was me personally, but I think one of my classmates said to our Chinese politics teacher, "Do you like Australia?" And I think he was like, "Yeah, I love Australia," or something. I think that really did happen. And we were interested in what he thought of Australia. We were interested in that. We really were. So, yeah, when you're in China, it comes back the other way. And you have young people who are coming up to you saying, "Do you love China?" And I would say, "Yeah, I love China. My wife's Chinese. I love it." And if you're a normal person and you've got a normal worldview, a part of that normal worldview is going to be having a generally positive view of your own country. There are going to be people who don't feel like that, and we've all met them. We've all met people who spend Australia Day commiserating the what happened to the Aborigines, and that's cool. I mean, I've certainly got friends like that. Maybe we should change the date. But in China, in Korea, in Japan, it's very, very common. It's very normal for students just to have a kind of a love of their country. And when you're teaching them English, you can use that to get them to speak, to get them to articulate what they're trying to say. And your job is not to educate them in terms of history or politics or anything like that. Your job is to encourage them to speak and to give them confidence and to help them to develop their English ability. And that is all that you are paid to do. If I was paid to be a diplomat and I was paid to meet Chinese officials, like, I would say things that the Australian government would expect me to say, or that the Australian population generally would expect me to say. I would do that as a part of my job. But my job now is not to do that. My job is to encourage students to speak and encourage students to grow in confidence. And the final thing I'll say is that it's not common. It's not common. Generally, in the first class, you'll get a student who says, "Joram, teacher," or they'll say, "Teacher, do you love China? Do you like China?" And I can just say, "Yeah, I love China. It's great. My wife's Chinese. It's a beautiful country. It's great." And then you'll get your quiet nationalist who'll sort of say, they won't say they're a nationalist, but they'll kind of say, "I don't like anything foreign, and I like Chinese opera, and I'm not interested in working in a foreign company," and this kind of thing. And they're a real nationalist. But if you get them to talk to you about their country, about things that they love about their country, you're doing your job. You're doing your job. So that's what it's all about. I just wanted to share that. That's my view. Now, people are going to probably look at this and think, "Oh, this guy's got no integrity," or whatever. But I think having integrity is nuanced. It's also about just doing what you're paid to do and not doing more than that, and not seeing yourself as as an evangelist or a missionary or an activist. I don't see myself as any of those things. I see myself as an ESL teacher. So, yeah, take it or leave it. But that's all. Thank you very much.